It's the Nerd Log. I'm broadcasting from the San Francisco office, meaning I don't have the camera I like, and I don't have cool lights, but it's fine. I can see the Bay Bridge like right there. But we've got some guests. Aaron's here. Aaron, say hi to the people and tell them what you do for New Relic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my name is Aaron Watts. I'm a product manager within our programmability sector. I'm focused more on like the developer experience. So I own custom visualizations, and we also have like third-party apps and stuff like that. So really community of open source tools that really get like you leveraging New Relic and being able to like build out exactly what you need from us. So it's a super awesome spot.
And we've got Lauren. Lauren Eastridge is here. Lauren, I guess you're doing stuff for New Relic now, but you're not actually a New Relic person. You're here from Formidable.
Yeah, that's right. I work at Formidable. It's a digital product consultancy. I'm the director of open source there and also the author of Victory, which is the charting library that we're talking about today.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah, I love it. Love having you here. So we're going to all kind of drop off slides here in a little bit. Essentially, like we're going to just talk through kind of like our open source vision. We're going to hand it over to Formidable to kind of talk about what they're working on today and more into victory charts and kind of what they're trying to accomplish. We'll kind of look at one slide of kind of what custom visualizations is all about. And then we'll dive into an actual demo of going through the 4 charts that we built out on Victory for New Relic to use for everybody to use. So pretty excited about that. So yeah, so like most people probably already know, like we already started New Relic on our open source journey back in like July of 2020. If I'm reading the blogs correctly here, we actually open sourced all of our instrumentation agents, which was a super awesome step for us to kind of put our foot in the open source game. And then we're also, of course, contribute to multiple different projects like the Open Telemetry project, the Open Telemetry SDKs, W3C standards, and a bunch of different other ones. But within programmability, what we really wanted to do is start moving towards allowing customers to kind of build out what they need and they want within New Relic, right? So with third-party apps, you can actually query data outside of New Relic, bring that in. You can visualize it how you want. You can kind of build out some pretty cool stuff. And when I say visualizations, that's where I get really excited because we have custom visualizations. And so that's where you can come in and work off of any React library and build out your own chart to interact with the data that you have coming into New Relic, which is super awesome.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. I would say, the one sort of caveat I'll give to our viewers, especially if you're watching this a little later, is, this is an amazing way to extend what you're already doing with New Relic. This is really cool tools. If you work with New Relic all the time, if you have a bunch of people looking at a New Relic dashboard, I know a lot of people have, they'll have a New Relic dashboard up in their sales pen and stuff. It's like a bunch of people looking at it. And especially, it doesn't have to be that you necessarily work with New Relic all day. It's just that when one of these dashboards doesn't look right or isn't easy to read, suddenly your boss is just calling you all the time. It's like, Dave from sales saw this thing and he says we're up 20%, but we're not. I don't know what, and this is really great stuff. If you are just getting into New Relic, don't be like you have to do this to get your data up. The big thing I'd mention, if you're kind of halfway into that, is that just by customizing a query with New Relic query language or NRQL, which is a SQL-ish language, you can get a lot. Right? If you're like, hey, I want this to be trailing average, or hey, I want this to be percentage of the max and not just a number or something, that can all just be done just by customizing the query. This is about going way a step beyond that and showing some really, really cool stuff in a really, really like visually exciting way, which I love that we're going to get to look at. But yeah, I just kind of that caveat. Don't be like, oh, I'll start reporting data. Day 2, I gotta like customize the React library. No. But of course, we have tons of people who have been working with New Relic for years or are getting deep into it this year, and we really want to give them full tools. Because when you have people walking by every day looking at a dashboard, you really kind of want it to read, instantly, right? You don't want to have to go out and educate people and say, oh yeah, ignore this line, or, these colors aren't quite right. You want to be able to have it just the way you want.
Exactly. Yeah, it's such a good call out. Yeah, and you're perfectly accurate, right? Like in Query Builder, we have the chart builder, and you can pop right in there and write in, your NRQL statements, and you get a list of different chart options right off the bat. And it's intelligent to tell you like what you're querying only works with certain chart types. So that's super awesome. And that's what you get kind of out of the box with New Relic, kind of as you're calling out. This is that next layer of we're giving that now. Basically, we're starting to build out this library with Victory, right? Of like those things will be at that same level as the new Relic built charts, right? But in an open source and an open source library that we get to support and kind of contribute to and work with Formidable on. And so it's really like, yeah, let's give you these templates. So it's just as easy to use these different charts with Victory. But then the next level, right, is you could also with custom visualizations build completely, your own thing out of React and say, no, I want this exact chart type.
Exactly the way I want. Yeah.
Data,
And,
right?
and I love the fact that we're, doing stuff like partnering with Formidable to give people cool visualizations, again, without having to put them, completely in the driver's seat. Let's talk about New Relic's open source vision, because I know, Lauren, you're the head of open source at Formidable. So I want to talk about just briefly, like, what does that really mean? To be, we're working in private companies, we're doing, software and software as a service, but we're also trying to embrace an open source strategy. And so what does that kind of mean for Formidable? And then let's talk about what it means for New Relic.
Yeah, absolutely. So Formidable is really in the same situation. We're a digital product consultancy. So we work with a bunch of just massive companies, Starbucks, Walmart, just huge brand names. And so it's very confusing at first glance how open source might fit into all of that. But it turns out that the sort of engineers who are interested in consulting are interested in helping other people solve their problems. And at the sort of scale we work at, helping people solve just big, massive, interesting problems that arise at that kind of scale. And that turns out to be the same sort of person who's just very fascinated by open source work. And we had the benefit of being pretty early movers in React, helping a lot of those clients I just named move over to React. And so for Victory, which is our open source charting library written in React, it just sort of naturally emerged as we were solving the same kind of problems over and over again. Just thought these are things we should open source. So that's what's happened with Victory and with a lot of other tools that Formidable supports. Right now, our open source portfolio is about 50 projects deep. Obviously, there are only a few large ones because that's quite an undertaking to keep up with that many projects. But keeping our hand kind of in that space has just had tremendous benefits for us as a company. Just being involved more as just end users of open source tools has just been tremendously beneficial. So
yeah, one thing it kind of puts me in mind of is a friend of mine makes shoes. He works at this company called Rose Amble. He has this little startup, and he makes shoes, and he does videos on how to make shoes, and even how to make shoes with hand tools. And one of the things he talks about a lot is he says, by making stuff about how you can make shoes and showing you how I did it, I get a lot of people who are contacting me saying, please make me a pair of shoes, and so sometimes I see, this is not maybe the ideal open source relationship. There's kind of other aspects to it, and certainly, just sharing the hard work that you've done and letting people just benefit from it is fantastic. A lot of the time, what I find myself doing, like if I'm talking about open telemetry as like a conference talk, I'm saying, hey, here's how you can do this yourself, and people love to have that power and feel like they have that level of control. But then they also would really like it if you would go ahead and run that piece as a service. So on the New Relic side, a lot of that is, hey, here's how to go and gather data with open source tools. And obviously, yes, you can stand up a data backend and you can collect the data and you can query the data. You absolutely can do that yourself. And there's great tools for it. You're still maintaining a data backend, right? Like open source doesn't mean zero maintenance, right? So that feels so easy for me to go and do those presentations. And, then because we have a service that will collect that data, it's like, yeah, you can do all of this yourself. If you want to do just this data gathering part and let us handle, data collection, like that's fine. Right. And so that just makes a lot of sense. I think that there's a lot of these strategies, often sort of when I started in technology, it felt like these were just pulling in two directions, but we just found that we didn't see a lot of benefit from keeping our technology secret, right? We could show people how we did it, and that didn't make it any less impressive that it worked.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everything right now is built with open source tools. So there's really no way around it, honestly. And for us, it's, as a pretty small consultancy working with giant clientele, it has been really a good way to sort of qualify ourselves in the space. It's just like, well, I mean, you don't have to take our word for it. You can just go look at the code of the things we've written and see that there's quality there, that we really care about what we're doing.
That absolutely was my experience poking around, was like, I won't say thankfully. I'll say thankfully for me, I don't work with React anymore because I'm not good at it. But it definitely would be that experience of saying, hey, do we want to hire these people to work on this? It's like, well, I see how this works, but I sure as heck do not want to write something of this complexity and elegance. So, I think that's really powerful, especially when you're kind of on the smaller side and trying to make your bones out there, right? I think that just feels really, really strong. Okay, but let's talk about these cool charts. I need the, what does Guillermo del Toro call it? He says it's not eye candy, it's eye protein. It's you need visual stuff to nourish your mind.
Yeah, let's dive in. Let me share the correct screen again here. Boom. Awesome. Yeah, so just a quick call out. We've only built 4, right? So we're kind of on this journey with Lauren and their team over there of like, okay, let's get as many as these we possibly can built out. So it's just easy to use with New Relic. A lot of it is around just like us theming it. So it blends in nicely. We're handling the data correctly on our side. Just making sure that it works out. But there's a great gallery, right, of victory charts. You can go through and kind of look at all these different options. And we love, right, the different use cases that you all have. Go to Explorer Hub, Nerd Life. If you're internal, do custom biz and let us know other chart types that you want as part of this. We'd love to keep building out those use cases and different charts and making sure that all these things are super usable for not only our customers, but also for internal New Relic. So we're getting pretty excited about that. But let's dive right into the 4 that we have. So yeah, starting at the the kind of the home screen, the Explorer view, we pop into this app catalog at the top here. Easiest way then is next to go to visualization. You'll see that we built out an entire pack here. I won't get into nomenclature on purpose for everybody's benefit, but we'll just dive into what the victory chart visualizations are. You'll see the structure here is pretty nice. You have kind of the about, so you can email us for support. You can report an issue right here. You can also benefit the community. And then since these are all open source also from New Relic, you can grab this code and tweak it if you want to, right? So these charts are really just a template of what you can do with them, and you can do even more, which is super awesome. So you can dive right into all those different things.
Yeah, this is especially true. Like once you're getting to this level of you're looking at kind of our packs to do your own theming, you're going to end up with that one thing that you need to do as well. It's like it's got to be this color, it's got to match up with this, and so yeah, you're going to want to do a little bit of that customization.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's great, right? And right in here too, right? You got all the documentation. We have on our doc site that helps you too, but you can come right in and it'll show you what are the prompt configs that, Victory's built out so awesomely, right, for us. And how you do some of these, example queries to just get up and going to really see like right off the bat, like, oh yeah, kind of clarity. This is what the chart actually looks like and what it's actually accomplishing. So,
can we get one step of zoom? Can we give me just one little hit of zoom to take the edge off?
Of course. Yeah.
One more. Just one more. Turns out I need another one. Oh, we're partying now. Okay, yes.
All good.
We may need to back it off to make stuff make sense a little later, but
cool.
This is great. Thank you.
Cool, of course. Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, you can kind of dive right in there. But the biggest thing is we've built out this artifact tab. So you can really see what's part of this, right? Like I said, we have 4 charts now. So we've built out the circular progress bar with Victory, the range chart with Victory, scatter plot, and then also a stack bar chart. So we'll walk through each one of them. They're going to be pretty quick on the demo because we've made them as easy as possible. But let's dive in real quick. So yeah, we'll do just a new tab. Hopefully it comes through okay, but we'll do circular progress bar first.
You have a lot of bravery to just use this live and not be saying like, hey, I need to go in and just have this all ready to go in another tab. I
almost did that. I had it yesterday. I walked through just to make sure we had it all up and going, to make sure it worked out all right. But
oh my God, you're writing live queries. Again, this is braver than I is all I'll say.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. So the greatest thing that we built this kind of out. It's going to get better over time, right? We're still iterating, but we could drop this
okay.
Query,
I do like this. This is really nice. Yeah. I always have to go because for those who don't know who are tuning in now, if you want kind of a starting place for your NERCL, click on any chart, top right, view query to show you the query that built that chart, and start there, right? Because I don't know, I forget if it's select or from first. I mean, I wrote SQL for 4 years, but just this stuff doesn't always come immediately. All right, let's give it a shot. Did upgrade query work? Let's see.
Yep. So we're gonna update that. We you have to select an account. We do a good job on making sure that you're writing it against the right thing. So
Nice.
at the default, right? We get the instant gratification of, yeah, it worked. Great. We looked at transactions. We found the percentage on the account where duration is greater than 0. So, awesome. We got a chart. Now the best part is we put these prompt configs in here, so you can say, okay, is the critical threshold as a positive or a negative, right? So we could say, okay, 93% is actually bad if it's above 93%.
Yeah,
cool.
It's like how hot is the server rack? How much memory is in use, right?
Yeah, 100%. And then right off the bat, you can do the exact opposite. You click it and go right back. No, anything above 93% is great. So you've got that, and you can immediately just add it to your dashboard. You'll name it, and you can put it wherever you want, which is amazing. So this is why we work so hard with Victory to get it so you can just get right away, 5 minutes to joy, right? Just come in, drop the query, and put it on a dashboard. You're done, right? So.
Yeah. If any of you are curious and big query nerds, yes, you can use an as clause here to recast percentage to be number of conversions or whatever label that you would rather have it be.
Absolutely. Yep. Great call out. So like I said, pretty quick and easy, and we'll walk through each one of these, but that's how easy it is to use a Victory chart, circular progress bar right there. We've got enough to go on for you.
I really, really like that. All right, hit me again. I want to see stacked bar. I want to see stacked bar. Stacked bar is one that I have tried, that I've seen requested a few times. So
cool.
I'm excited to have one.
Hop around then. Sweet. Same thing. I'm going to make my life easy. We've got this example query right here. We're going to go ahead and add it right at the top. Quick update. And this is just an account that I always know. So this is staging, so it's a mess. So nobody try to use these accounts. You aren't going to get access, but just calling it out. But anyways, we got this example here of looking at the average duration, faceted on environment, app name. You'll see that those are based on the colors, and you'll see the duration over here.
I love it.
Groups, each one on a stack.
And this one, we even have an edit right in here to edit the y-axis label, which is really nice.
Yep.
Right. Other groups is stuff that's below a threshold, right? It's
correct.
Yeah.
There's this other category that helps you kind of see it, but they're not really reporting anything. It's just another group that could have something in it. Essentially,
I love that we're both writing a live query on live demo data, which is always the thing with New Relic is the whole thing of trying to place your foot down on the stream the same time twice, right? Where it's okay, I'm just going to show you what I saw yesterday, but I do want to use data from the last 30 minutes. So, then you have to just hope that something happened that looks good. Thankfully, now we have a demo machine that is usually, breaking in a consistent way every hour or something to show us our spikes. But yeah. All right. Range chart. Let's do it.
Love it. Yeah. Oh, you're so correct. Cool. Same thing. I'm going to make my life easy. Same steps. Like I said, this is quick and simple. Minus clicking their own buttons. That happens. But here we go. So we updated it. We'll grab that same account just because I know it works. Give her a minute to query.
Oh yeah. So this is selecting a percentage of. Oh, and it's 7 days. You set that in the query. The time range is pretty far.
Yep. Yeah, we could, there you go. Here we the render. So you can see, right? You can see the bottom side and the top side, and it'll show you on each one as you hover over, right? So it'll show you exactly what the range is per day. For 7 days, which is just awesome.
Oh yeah, this is. I mean, I would need to do a little bit of thing about what we're actually seeing here, but visually, it's great.
Yeah. So essentially, you're looking at the percentiles, the 50 percentile, 95th percentile. And you're actually looking at the duration for these different transactions. So it's really trying to bring everything together, saying if you're making a specific call, right, as a request, how long is that transaction actually taking? So it's showing the duration of, okay, how often are you within 50 and then the 95 percentile? So it's giving you that range of, okay, how are we operating here? So it kind of gives you that ability to quickly come in and take a look at it.
All right, we got. There's one more. We got even a fourth one.
We do. This is the newest one. We just built this one out. This is the scatter plot chart, which is super exciting. I'll grab the easier one for a non-aggregate on purpose. But there's all kinds of awesome stuff you can do here.
Oh, right. So this is just we're scatter plotting every single transaction rather than trying to average them together, which makes sense.
Yeah, well, and the cool thing that one does too, that aggregate one, it'll actually show the different size bubbles that you'll have. So the more that are landing within that, you'll see that the actual bubbles are bigger, which is super awesome. So it kind of gives you more inclination of, oh, how often is this one actually going down? So, but boom, right there, we've got the duration, external duration of what the transaction is doing, limit 500 for the sampling, and you'll see, there you go.
So like the few outliers would be ones where we were relying more on internal time. So it seems like Victory is getting used like pretty widely as a charting library, Lauren. It seems pretty neat to see it, get picked up all over the place.
Yeah, that's been really exciting for us as well. Of course, we've been using it for some of our clients. Some bigger companies are using it, but I think the thing that makes me proudest is seeing some research institutes using it. So, for instance, like the Benaroya Research Institute is using it for, looking at autoimmune disorders, and that makes my day, honestly, more than any of the big companies using it.
Yeah, it's absolutely a thing that the way that we inspire action is often how well we communicate this kind of data. And we see this all over the place that people have, what do they say is like the scales fall away from their eyes, right? When we give a really clear presentation of what we're looking at, and there are very often subtleties to metrics and data that are just not well expressed by trying to express them in text or giving people a big table. And so if we can visualize well, it often means we can communicate with people who maybe, they're not statistically literate. So we want to give it a visualization that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
All this is just to say, kill your pie charts, everyone. They're not clear. A 25% and a 17% slice of a pie chart look the same. And that's not good when you're talking about how much you're spending on housing and how much you're spending on education. So think about it. Think about everybody. Stacked bar charts. They're the way to go.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, Lauren, thank you so much for coming out. Do you have other stuff you want to show us? The stuff that's important to you or on your mind about this really cool charting library?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I know, Lauren, you had something that you wanted to kind of talk about with one of the programs you were just working on recently, with kind of in retrospective, kind of what this all is about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just to say, Victory is a massive library, which at this point is like almost 6 years old. And I just want to sort of give a little bit of insight into how the sausage is made there in terms of maintaining and pushing forward with a library like that. So Formidable has recently introduced a fellowship program around open source, where anyone at our company can apply to put something new into the world or enhance something that exists. And we recently just awarded a fellowship to someone who wants to improve Victory. So my colleague Becca will spend 6 weeks full-time paid working on Victory, and her project will be around creating a different rendering target. Right now, Victory is all SVG based, but it is written in such a way that it's totally easy to swap out what gets rendered. Like that's how we support Victory Native, for instance, is we just have a very slim wrapper that swaps out SVG for React Native SVG, for instance. So Becca's fellowship will be around creating Canvas or WebGL rendering targets for Victory to let that library work with some of these just absolutely massive data sets that SVG is going to choke on once you get past a few thousand points. So
if you give SVGs just too many nodes, if you're trying to draw the face of the Virgin of Guadalupe in SVG, you start to get into trouble. I didn't know this. I'm surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have like maybe like 4,000 nodes, the DOM just starts to choke. Okay. So having that as a canvas rather than SVG or WebGL, if she gets really ambitious, will be really exciting for that.
I love that because I love SVG mainly for what it means for accessibility, right? That you can give people something, a presentation where they can, zoom in 500%. And as somebody who's dealt with her own vision issues, that's like really, really nice. But yeah, this makes sense, right? If you're trying to do something like a scatter plot or trying to show a pattern in 3D space, I guess that would probably fall down.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool to know, though. I love it. Well, guys, that was great. I love so often we're talking about data flows and other stuff, and to get to look at something like actually visual and think about the sort of the end goal of all this, which is the communication of data, is really fantastic. Yeah. Do either of y'all? I know, Lauren, you have a social media presence a little bit. Is there stuff you want us to follow? We can drop a link down in the chat. We'll also put a link down on YouTube.
I mean, me personally, I'm really off the social media apart from GitHub, where you can find me as Boy Girl. But Formidable Labs on Twitter has a lot of great stuff about what we're doing, what our fellowship program is doing. So, yeah, check that out if you're interested.
I got a great set of links from Lewis here in the PMM team about like great links to talk about this partnership. I forgot to drop all of them in the Twitch chat, so sorry, Twitch. They will be in the show notes for later replays for all of our YouTube users. So I promise down in the YouTube notes there's a ton of cool stuff about the partnership, about doing this yourself, about extending it and using these libraries. So do check out that documentation. All right, let's go ahead and go. Engineer Kirk, let's go to the Be Right Back, and we'll see if we can get this last segment in. But thank you so much. Check out the Nerd Blog every Thursday. Thank you so much, everybody.